This video is not a video. It is a podcast, and it is not done in the style of Cinemasins. Hi, this is Ren.
This is Casey.
And this is All Walks of Film.
Alright guys, put down everything you're doing. Oh my god. Cinemasins put out a video! Oh no! And it talked about what was wrong with the movie.
My movie?
The monsters! They're just cynical fucks, man!
So, Cinemasins just put out a video, essentially everything wrong with King Kong. Everything wrong with Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, don't justify this piece of crap movie by calling him King Kong. That is not King Kong. That's just Furryzilla, and they just named him Kong.
Right.
You know, we have Gino, Godzilla in name only. We've got Kino. Actually, Kino's too cool, because it sounds like the kinograph. But still, Kong in name only.
Yeah, so we watched the Cinemasins, but before we even watched the Cinemasins, we just saw, like, Jordan Vogt-Roberts, the director of this movie, just go on Twitter, go on various platforms, just bitching about Cinemasins. Like, he bitched before this video even came out. There's a video that has Max Landis and him talking. He's, like, getting all butthurt about, like, oh, well, you know, I spent 2 fucking years, like, working on this movie, and they're just gonna, like, rip it apart. Yeah, because that's, like, what they do. They even rip apart good movies.
Yeah, all the fucking time. And I love how he acts like, I spent 2 fucking years on this movie. Like, that makes him special somehow in Hollywood. Dude, you want to talk about, like, directors who get fucked over? Look at The Thief and the Cobbler. The director worked on that for over 30 fucking years before the company took his project away from him and turned it into garbage in front of his fucking face.
Yeah, and Disney also stole like 90% of it and reappropriated it into Aladdin.
Which is why they took it away from him. Because they're like, you're too late. Now we've got to rip off the thing that ripped you off. Anyway. Not the point. The point is every fucking movie they talk about has a lot of time and a lot of people. Not necessarily the writers or directors or actors or anything like that. But, you know, people work on it. They put their time into it.
Yeah, and first of all, a lot of the sins in the movies have to do with the script.
Because the script is garbage.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. It looks like 2 weeks before production, they realized that they forgot that the lead is supposed to be a pretty blonde lady who has a connection with Kong. So they just sort of like, fuck. Well, we'll put her name here, and we'll give her one line here. And we'll write, like, a 30 seconds. Okay, that's good. Kong touches her. See? We had the scene. And we'll put one more where, like, he saves her from drowning. And done. We have the Beauty and the Beast thing. There we go. See?
Yeah, and we've been seeing this a lot with directors responding and saying, like, oh, it was for the fans, and, like, all these, like, comments and stuff like that, defending their movie, which I get you want to defend something that you worked hard on, because you can see that there was hard work put into the movie. It's just there's a lot of things that somebody should have spoken up about.
Mm-hmm. So what did he actually have to say? Our Cinemasins video is out. What Ryan said is how I feel. These videos are now the length of TV pilots, where people tell actual stories. Yes, the video is 19 minutes, 46 seconds. And it's like, okay, it's a little shy of a TV pilot, even for a half-hour slot. But, I mean, okay, they're condensing everything wrong with your fucking movie into a little bite-sized image. It's fine.
Yeah, also, it's not a Plinkett review.
True. He wants to bitch about Cinemasins. Plinkett's reviews are, like, almost as long as the movie.
I don't think this movie is bad enough for Plinkett.
No, but he has bitched about Star Wars for a longer amount of runtime than there is actually Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
And that's Star Wars.
I mean, granted,
about half of Star Wars is shit, you know.
Yeah,
but...
most of that stuff was about the prequels. And
yeah, of course.
Oh, they were glorious.
Then he says, I don't want to be a cynical fuck myself, but it reeks of failed filmmaker taking his issues out on other people's work. Mystery Science Theater built something artful, endearing, and comedic on top of the foundation of other people's work. It had merit to itself. Things like Cinemasins simply suck the lifeblood of other people and are often just wrong about intent or how cinema works. It's terrible. Then he's responding to a note about one of the plot holes in the movie. He says, because it being the island, it's inaccessible by boat and thus only discovered when we launched satellites in the 70s with cameras looking down at Earth. The last one really gets me as it's basically the entire reason the film takes place in the 70s. This guy just says shit like Trump. Anyhow, I just wanted to point out why these videos are infuriating. They're often just wrong or think they're smarter than you. I love film criticism, and I love reading negative reviews if the author makes compelling and well-written arguments. To anyone who thinks this video makes me mad or hurts me, it doesn't. I just wanted to point out a few obvious examples that are just wrong. It's like when Trump lies on camera just because he can. It's infuriating, and there are people out there who listen to him and Cinemasins. And yes, he did just say Trump and Cinemasins. As, like they're equivocable.
Oh my god.
But don't misunderstand. He's not mad or hurt. He just thinks that Cinemasins has as much credibility as Donald Trump. That's all. He just wants to put that out there to teach us all a lesson about it. Maybe I'll return to this and watch their entire video if it doesn't make me hammer a nail through my dick and point out more errors. I make movies because I love film. These guys are just trolling the art form we love and profiting from it while dumbing the conversation. And then Cinemasins just had the best response I could ever think of. Hey everyone, I stepped away from the computer for a few hours to run errands and stuff. Did I miss anything?
I find it hilarious just how much he was triggered by this. And like he was like prepared to be triggered by this.
To be fair,
Cinemasins, like,
of course, yeah. To be fair, one thing I think he needs this to teach him a lesson on is he's like, well, no, I did that on purpose because I had this whole line of thought about it. And it's like, you might have thought of it, and by the way, that was a really stupid reason to have it take place in the 70s. Like that's dumb, but. You can have this whole line of reasoning why things have to be this way and how there's this whole backstory behind this, blah, 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 blah. But you should understand that what's happening is you're not conveying it in your movie.
Yeah, also, like, we went to film school, which is not to say that, like, we're, like, on par with him or anything. I will say that I went to the same film school that he did. And one of the things that I learned is sometimes when you're making a film, you have to take the criticism given to you. Sometimes that's in the writing stage, sometimes it's afterwards. And yeah, there are times where it hurts, where somebody interprets something in a way that you didn't mean. But you have to suck it up and say, well, that's your interpretation. It's also a way to learn on how to convey things in a way that's more digestible.
Or at least closer to what you're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, there are some people who just don't understand. Like the people who are like, but The Graduate, why didn't they ever think of Mr. Robinson's feeling? You know, there's always going to be people like that. But when people say something that you're just like, that's not what my film's trying to say, you got to step back and be like, why did they think that's what my film is trying to say?
Yeah, and, you know, granted, you're always going to get that person that doesn't pay attention or is, like, half watching it, but, like, and while you shouldn't cater to that person, at all, which I'm really getting sick and tired of movies doing. I think it is important to understand that exposition should not take over the narrative of a film.
Right. And I do want to point out that in the actual video, there's a point where, you know, among all the jokes and hyperbole, because that's what it is, Cinemasins makes a point of, you know, oh, this thing? You know, should I take a sin off for it? Well, I'm just an asshole who takes things too literally, so I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, dude, how butthurt do you have to be to take that so goddamn seriously?
This is like getting offended by an article by The Onion.
Yeah, it really is. And this is kind of like, I've heard a lot of people bitch about, you know, Cinemasins and everything wrong with, because I feel like they kind of have a misunderstanding of what it's supposed to be. A CinemaSins score is not like Rotten Tomatoes. It doesn't give you an indication of whether it's a good movie or a bad movie.
Well,
It doesn't give you an indication of whether you should see it or not. It doesn't tell you anything. Especially because half the time their sins are literally just times that they can make a pun about something or a joke about something. And a lot of times they're about good things. You know, it's just so ridiculous that anybody takes it seriously because it was never meant. I mean, people misunderstand Rotten Tomatoes too. But at least that was created specifically for the purpose of judging how much people do or do not like a movie.
And basing the average viewer reception and critic reception of a film and judging whether or not you want to see it based on that.
Right, and that's based on like a complicated algorithm. This is just somebody making jokes. That's fine. Nobody bitches. Well, that's not true. People always bitch at people, you know. Everyone always bitches at other people, but like, I don't see that as much with, you know, maybe like Nostalgia Critic or something. Oh, Nostalgia Critic did a review about this thing, whatever. People understand that he's one dude making his own opinion and his own jokes.
I do get a little annoyed when people try to take CinemaSins and Honest Trailer stuff.
Yeah.
I get a little annoyed when they essentially think that that is like serious criticism of the movie and that like counts as like a review to the film.
No, it's not Mark Kermode. It's not Roger Ebert. I mean, no, they're not trying to be that at all.
Yeah, and if there's anything, that's like one thing to be frustrated about, but like it's pretty obvious that that's how Jordan Vogt-Roberts is taking this.
Well, and he's one of the many people who, as soon as something happens that he doesn't like, it's just like Trump. Like, are you serious? Are you... Okay, let me put it to you like this.
Politics has nothing to do with why your movie sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I personally think it sucks, but, like, you know, beyond that, why your film has sins.
Well, also, let me put it to you like this. CinemaSins has never actually ruined anybody's life. It hasn't even ruined, like, the livelihood of the filmmakers who make these movies or affected ticket sales. That's ridiculous. I mean, a lot of these parody and spoof videos have proven over and over and over again that they actually help bring revenue to the movies that they're talking about, whether they're positive or negative about it. You know, it really feeds into the all promotion is good promotion or whatever. You know, it really works with parody. And you're going to compare that to Donald Trump. Are you fucking serious? Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, I mean, not really. I can't even say that. Never mind. I really can't even say that. Never mind. He literally said Trump and CinemaSins. I mean, he said he, but you know, him was Trump. Trump and CinemaSins. They just go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. Or cyanide and happiness.
This is the problem with giving a second-time director a platform.
Well, a big movie franchise.
Well, yeah, I would love to have a conversation with some people about this, of giving first-time directors big, huge studio franchises. And yeah, back in the old days, you had that with various properties, but it wasn't like insane like it is now. It's like everybody, oh, you made one film that like did kind of well in like festival circuits. Here, we're gonna give you Jurassic World. We're gonna give you Star Wars. We're gonna give you, oh yeah, Colin Trevorrow possibly might not direct the next Star Wars movie. And hey, they're firing Star Wars directors as it is, so I think the Book of Henry getting such terrible...
And veteran directors, too. I mean, dude, Miller and Lord have made so many, like, actual successes. Why the fuck would you fire them?
Also, why the fuck would you get Ron Howard to take over?
Yeah.
I mean, like, when's the last time he made a good film? Let's see, he made The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Oh, God.
And pretty much all he's made recently is that one movie with, I think it was Chris Hemsworth. It might have been his brother. I kind of get him mixed up sometimes. About the racing. I want to call it like Rush. I could be wrong. So he did that film, which got some pretty good reviews, and then he's just been obsessed with the Robert Langdon novels, you know, like the Da Vinci Code and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So he's been making that, and you want to get him to
do the Han Solo movie of all things. Not just even a Star Wars movie. The Han Solo movie.
I mean, at this point, why not get Kevin Smith? I mean, well,
despite like some misses on his track record, I could at least trust Kevin Smith a little bit more to actually understand the characters.
Well, yeah, and he's been directing several episodes of Supergirl, The Flash, and Arrow.
Yeah, because he loves... never mind. I was going to say something really mean, and I like Kevin Smith a little too much.
Actually, I don't know if he did all those shows, but I do know that he's directed episodes of The Flash, and I think he directed an episode of Supergirl.
Yeah. I was going to say he just loves that delicious Marvel cock, but he would probably turn around and say, like, you bet I do. Mm-hmm. I will get down on my knees and suck that hot dog like nobody's business.
But he likes Batman and Star Wars a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just
what,
saying.
You've never heard of Bukkake?
Oh, well, okay, so getting back to Jordan Vogt-Roberts, who, like, quite frankly, he kind of has, like, a look about him. He kind of looks like Hal Ashby.
Oh, I was going to say he looks like Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah, that too. Or Joaquin Phoenix for that I'm Not There movie. I get it. You have a style to you and all that kind of stuff, and it like adds to your personality, but you're kind of being a whiny baby like right now. And that is an awfully righteous beard to be that much of a baby for. I just saying.
Yeah. And I love how he's like, no, I love criticism. Like what? What is like? Yeah, what is an actual piece of criticism?
You were getting butthurt when Max Landis was praising your film, throwing a couple stabs here, but like,
he can't even take good criticism, and he wants to be like, no, I love criticism, you guys. I'm not mad or hurt.
He strikes me as the type of person that, like, in film school, argue with the professor and with the classmates over his movie. He would just be like, oh, well, you know, you see it this way, but like, and everybody hates that student.
Well, yeah, because...
Suck it up, take the criticism, figure out how to do it differently next time, or, you know, take their criticism as a way to understand how other people are actually watching your movies, because nobody can be in your headspace.
Yeah, the blessing and curse of film is that it's a balancing act between trying to convey what you want to convey and letting other people read what they want to read into the movie.
Yeah, I mean, my last film that I made had dramatically different reactions to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, some people were offended by it. Oh, okay. And some people, you know, criticize certain things harshly. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I haven't made a lot. You know, there's still plenty for me to learn. I would like to have the opportunity to do more stuff. I'm definitely not going to be this kind of person. You know, I mean, I might get a little hurt if the only thing that I get is, like, negative criticism. But, like, sometimes you got to suck it up and, you know.
Well, that's one of the things that kills me about what he said is when he's like, I'm not mad or hurt. Like, well, no, he says that like, oh, it would be so horrible if I was mad or hurt. Like, that's a problem.
I'm not crying.
Just been raining on my face. But he says that, like, you know, film is both an art and a business. You do get emotional, and that's fine. Nobody's gonna care if you're mad and hurt, except for the fact that you have to be a little baby about it.
Yeah, and this makes me a little worried because, like, he's going on and on about, like, making the Metal Gear movie, and it's like, okay.
Oh, dear God, no. Okay, if you can't understand, like, the basics of a lovable but fairly simple character like King Kong, you cannot take on anything having to do with Metal Gear. That is going to go way fucking over your head.
All right, we got to break this down for people who didn't listen to our last review. Why did Jordan Vogt-Roberts get King Kong wrong? I'm sorry, Kong.
Kong.
Is it Kong? Is it King Kong?
It's Kong. We're just calling it Kong. Whatever. He's exactly like Godzilla in the last movie. There's pretty much no difference except for one is scaly and one is furry. Otherwise, personality-wise, there's nothing distinctive about them. They're both angry. They both smash into things. They both just sort of conveniently save people because the script tells them to do so. And the humans around them have to go through this thing of, oh, we think they're scary. We need to kill it with fire. No, it's actually good. See? We like this thing now. So, of course, when they go head-to-head, they're the same fucking thing. It's literally like when you play, you know, any given, like, fighting game, and both people pick the exact same character, so you have, like, Catwoman versus Catwoman, or, you know, Chun-Li versus Chun-Li, or something like that. That's literally what it's gonna be like. There's no fucking difference. Because King Kong, the actual character, he is expressive. He gets angry and smashes things, sure, but he also gets happy. He gets scared. He feels pain. You know, he fears these little tiny things. And you can see, like, on his face what's going on. You can see in his actions how he feels. Whereas this one's just, Kong smash. Okay. Like, it kind of feels a lot like they took that scene that everybody loves of Hulk grabbing Loki by the ankle and swinging him around a bunch. It was like, see? People love that scene. We're going to make a movie and it's going to be like that.
Yeah, also, I will say that given all the Avengers movies that we've gotten with Hulk, I will say all the best Avengers movies have Hulk in it. Personal opinion. And I'm really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok.
Fuck yeah.
Hulk is more expressive than Kong. And I kind of have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's a big fucking
Hulk
problem.
Because Hulk is supposed to have one mood.
Yeah. Like, Hulk is literally supposed to be Hulk smash. You know, he has Bruce Banner to do a lot of the other stuff.
And while I do understand that, like, Hulk is a more complex character than that and does have, you know,
I'm not
like,
saying
emotions
simplify
and all.
Hulk.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just saying...
But, like, he is the embodiment of anger. That's, like, what the Hulk is.
Yeah, that's not what King Kong is.
Yeah, King Kong is a great ape.
Yeah.
Who, you know, is curious and enticed and, you know, likes to have fun, but he also likes to, like, wreck stuff and kill
hunt
people.
And eat. Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, we did see the whole stuff about, like, hunting and killing people and all that kind of stuff, but, like, if you don't have the other elements, it just feels like a run-of-the-mill monster movie.
Which is exactly what Godzilla was.
I mean, if I'm gonna give any positives, at least, like, Kong was, like, in the movie more, whereas, like...
He was in the movie more, but then you realize why Godzilla wasn't in the movie more.
Because limited special effects.
They don't have enough time to do this shit. I know he's like, I spent 2 years on this. 2 years is not enough time for something like this.
Well,
you need more time for the script, and you need more time in post.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think there's a big problem of studios just pumping out these movies really quick. And yes, I understand that back in the day, Ghostbusters was made in a year and, all this kind of stuff. But, like, dude, you need to slow down with film production. A lot of underlings are the ones having to, carry the weight of these films. And I don't know how he is as a director. I don't know how competent he is on set. Clearly there was a cohesive movie, even though, like, I have a lot of issues with it.
Apparently it's not Justice League bad. And to be fair, on my yearly report for this, I only gave it an F. I only gave it an F. I did not even give it an F minus, which an F minus is anything below 30%.
I gave the film a D, but like that's my take, and that's partly because I am a King Kong fan. So
I am too. I wanted a King Kong movie.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a lot more critical than like the average viewer.
Godzilla roar cannot be the best part of a King Kong solo origin movie.
I did like the Cannibal Holocaust.
The Cannibal Holocaust was awesome.
Yeah.
That's why it's not an F minus. There was like a solid maybe 2.5 minutes of good footage peppered throughout this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, looking at the storyboards and concept art, like, it looks really cool, but, like, you have to have a movie around it.
Yeah, not just, I was doing my impression of Plinkett earlier, remember Apocalypse Now? Stop talking.
Remember the 70s?
Stop talking.
Yeah, no, this is really pathetic. Coming from a professional.
Yeah.
We are obviously not professionals, but we would like to be someday.
No, we're failed filmmakers who just suck the blood out of other people who actually make art.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see that in the comments somewhere. Like, oh yeah, you were really right at that point. So, I just want to know what other people think of these comments. Like, is it warranted? Does it feel mature for, like, a working professional to come out and, like, bash Cinemasins?
I don't know. I feel like in the past we haven't let people get away with this kind of shit. Like, Jared Leto didn't even watch Suicide Squad, and guess what? He doesn't have that job anymore. Although I think it's hysterical that that's the reason why he doesn't have the job. Not because he was the worst part of the movie and not because of all the harassment behind the scenes, but because he probably broke his contract and just started talking shit about it.
Yeah, I don't know. And just remember, it wasn't the Trump, it was the Cinemasins that killed the beast.